Hello.
Hello.
We're here.
Here.
Live. Not live.
Not live.
Almost live. On the 23rd of June.
2016.
At 10 to 10. 10 minutes before the polls close. For the EU referendum.
EU referendum.
The referendum.
In or out. Choose your side.
Brexit or Remain. Remain. I'm glad that didn't... America tried to make Remain a thing.
Did they?
Yes.
Sounds quite American.
But it didn't happen, thankfully.
I'm not surprised, because it's awful.
Well, what we're going to do is... We've got, like, BBC.
Yeah.
The audio as well.
We're waiting for David Dimbleby.
We've got massive copyright infringement. Because what we want, in an ideal world, for the best comedic value, what we really want is when they announce what they think is making it happen, if there's like an exit poll or something,
yep.
And it comes out as a 50-50 draw, and David
Dimbleby
just poos himself. Reaction. He just shits himself live on stage.
That's what we're
It doesn't
here for.
compute. The graphs all break because everything goes to 50, and it's just the whole thing.
That's never happened before.
What happens if it's a dead heat?
What,
on full countback?
I don't know. Can it?
Sorry, our theme music's been running now for like 1 minute 30. It's chill though, isn't it?
Can it go 50-50?
What if there's an even amount of people voting?
That's the question. Is there an even number?
Well, we don't know, do we?
Even. Is there an even number? Maybe we'll just ask the Queen. If it gets to that stage, we'll just say, Queen, you have overriding decision.
Does it come down to the wording of the question? So if it was, do you wish to remain?
Surely
yes, no,
50% is... Yeah, it's should we remain a member of the EU? That's what it was.
Remain.
Yeah, should we remain? Yes or no?
A good thing I saw this week was a voting paper, a ballot paper.
Yeah.
I'll find it now and read you off some of the other options that should have been included. Quickly before this show starts.
David Dimbleby comes back on.
David Dimbleby.
David Dimbleby on the Brexit referendum.
So some of the options that should have been included.
Yep.
Were remain, leave. Remain because I'm terrified of change.
Yeah.
Leave, but I'm not a racist. Remain, but no thanks. Remain, but no thanks to the shit campaign. Remain, but Cameron is still a dick. Leave, but Farage is still a dick. Leave because I'm a chaotic neutral and I just want to see what will happen.
That's quite a good one.
I just want it to be over.
That's also a really good one.
Fuck it all, I'm moving to Latvia. Vote only once by putting a cross in the box of your choice.
I like the last one. That was the best. That basically sums up my opinion, I think.
Is that where you are with it?
Well, so if we leave, that's my opinion.
What, you're off to Latvia?
You never hear of me again.
Sorry, guys, it's going to be more remote podcasting, and I don't know what the Wi-Fi's like in Latvia.
Probably quite good.
We might struggle for Skype.
I don't know what the capital of Latvia is.
Capital of Latvia.
I feel like there's certain things you should know, and capital cities of major countries we should all just know.
Do you think?
Well, I feel like that's something they should teach you in geography.
It's called Capital Riga.
Capital Riga.
Riga.
How are you spelling Riga?
R-I-G-A. It's on the coast.
Sounds nice.
Looks nice.
That's where I'm going to be moving to.
It's got a ring road.
Good. All good capital cities need one.
I'm zoomed in on Google Maps, and that was the first thing that caught me. They're all A roads.
Well, that's good. What side of the road do they drive on?
Not sure. Oh, hang on.
Now live on BBC One.
Oh, live on BBC One.
EU referendum.
EU referendum.
This is where the copyright fraud begins.
Good evening and welcome at the end of this
Here he is.
momentous day.
David Dimbleby.
Has had the chance to say what kind of country.
There's a countdown clock in the bottom.
3 minutes 18.
So if you haven't had a chance to vote, quick run.
Run to your local town hall.
He's there with Laura Kudersberg or whatever her name is.
Do we want to be in or out of the EU? As in every election, there's been the usual
Oh, look, it's
round of
David
main
Cameron.
players casting their votes. Prime Minister
I don't know.
Cameron
I don't know what's actually going to happen at 10 o'clock.
to cast his ballot.
Are they going to put a prediction in?
Other leading
Dunno,
figures
we'll
on
find
both
out.
sides of the debate.
What do you reckon David Cameron voted for, in or out?
There's not been for many years a choice.
This is-
that's aroused
But
such
what did he vote for? He could have voted
families
out.
families,
I reckon he
dividing
voted out.
For this
Just to fuck
is a
with us.
vote with a difference.
Yeah, but his vote only counts the same as ours, which is the beauty
No
of it.
first
Yeah, I
past
know,
the
but-
post. Every vote will count as equal. As this country
Every vote is equal.
defines itself.
As Dimbleby tells
Jeremy
us.
Vine's going to be watching for the
Oh,
first
the,
time in
the
Jeremy
graph
Vine.
man.
one way or t'other.
Jeremy Vine.
I will be making my way along Downing Street through the night.
Oh,
and watch
this
at
is
that.
where the BBC,
Technology, look at
the
that.
BBC literally hemorrhage money in the graphics department as soon as we have to have some sort of
by the morning.
election.
The votes are going to be counted locally.
Look at that studio, though.
Yeah,
How
they
much
don't
money
use
went
it.
into that studio?
They don't use the studio for anything else.
Other than elections.
We
No.
have reporters
2 minutes to count. 2 minutes on the
2
countdown.
minutes to go.
there early.
2
Peter
minutes,
Sharp
2 minutes.
is in Newcastle.
Do you think they're going to put like? Do you think they're going to play like the countdown theme tune?
Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh, they're really quick, aren't they?
Are they the
Newcastle
first
and
ones?
Durham, or wherever they race.
To declare a result in this historic referendum, they think maybe, possibly, we'll have a result here as early as midnight.
Here in the
And that's a
centre,
confirmed result.
results announced locally and analysing them to build up a picture.
Oh, there's a picture
Voted
on like
and what
Twitter and whatever, which is a really hard. It's hard to gauge because of you obviously get the silent majority and all those.
He's just on Minesweeper, that guy. Look.
Yeah.
He got just a load of people on computers, and that guy was definitely on Minesweeper.
Here's Laura. I'm not biased, honest.
political world we'll live in once this
She could smile, couldn't she?
and above us,
If she smiles, does she turn
blue.
in? If she smiles, does she turn into a lizard?
Isn't blue one of the sides of...
Oh, we like her.
I recognise her.
She's called Emily Matis or something. Mateless. Mateless.
Mateless.
I think so. She does Newsnight. 50 seconds. The tension.
47. The tension in this room is building.
You could literally cut this with a knife. Now,
referendum night.
40.
40.
Are they going to do the countdown theme?
I hope so. No, that'd be copyright infringement, wouldn't it?
We know all about that. 30 seconds. Flipping heck, he sat down in about 4 seconds flat. He just presented a
Must
piece
have
from
ran
the
to the seat.
Yeah,
Who's won?
and he's not even breathless.
Referendum, it's not going to be
20
20
seconds.
seconds. Oh, we've got the bongs.
Oh, wait, shush.
by comparing one election with another and measuring the change. It'd be crazy to compare this European referendum with the one that was held 41 years ago. It wouldn't work. So patience is our watchword tonight as we wait for the first actual declarations to come through.
Oh, we don't want to wait till midnight.
Oh, it's closed.
No, second bong.
You've missed it.
Second
so
bong.
Big
isn't
Ben has struck 10 o'clock, and we can now start trying to discover which side thinks has carried the
So he
day.
doesn't actually have like a prediction.
Results to come in. Some of the polling booths, I said they were all closed, are staying open apparently because the weather's been so frightful in parts of Britain today that if you're in the queue to vote, the polling booth stays open. until you
Frightful
get the
weather.
chance to vote. And we do have one
Frightful.
big news from Gibraltar.
Ooh,
Gibraltar is
Gibraltar.
an hour ahead of us, so their polls closed an hour ago.
Ooh.
At their last general election, they had 71% turnout. This time, 84% turnout. So a big turnout.
Quite good.
Yeah, I think the turnout is going to be really high.
For the vote. And it's one of the things we'll be looking for is how big the turnout is. Because
But the bigger the turnout,
Yeah,
the
it has an
more
effect, doesn't it,
the
on
bigger
them?
the turnout, the more it stays towards Remain.
Of course it is.
There we go.
There we go.
See, why am I not Laura
There you go,
Kunisberg?
Kunisberg.
Because I'm not even biased.
Have the enthusiasm. Their supporters are the ones who've been racing to get to the polls today.
Racing.
I have heard anecdotally stories of high turnout almost in every part of the country.
I don't know. Up in town today, it was quite busy. I mean, I went up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it was busy at 7.
Talk
Half
about your
7.
voting experience, then, George.
So I walked into a room. I went to the left.
Yes,
Of
so did
the-
I
of
actually,
the
because our
sign
streets are
thing.
both named with the same letter.
Yeah, they are. And then I spoke to a lady and handed her my card, which had a number on it,
Nigel
which
Farage
was
said that his
CAK
would want
999.
CAC 999.
Yeah, CAK 999. And then I got a little thing and I ticked a box. Well, I didn't tick a
You
box.
ticked it, so yours was a void.
Well, no.
You couldn't even follow the simple instruction.
All right. I crossed the box with a pencil, although I did have the choice. But I'm not a total arse, so I used a pencil.
Why was your reason? What? Talk to me about a reason for using.
Oh, it's so stupid. We always use pencils. Pencils are just what you use. They've always been used because ink either smudges or can be, because ink could be erased, because people using fountain pens and shit. That can be erased really easily. But they say this, the pencil could be erased. It's like, I'm sorry, who are they using? These professional erasers, okay? Firstly, to erase them all well enough and change the votes so that it's obvious. And secondly, what pencil doesn't leave an imprint?
Yeah. I'll
There's
tell you
always an imprint.
Here we go. I did a bit of research today. I was reading the Financial Times, and there was actually a piece on the company who provided all the pencils in the election booths. See, don't say that I haven't done my research for this podcast.
Go on then.
Yeah, they're all supplied by Shaw's, a company who barely a dozen staff in suburban Kent.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least they're British.
There is literally nothing...
Ironic if they were European.
There is literally nothing special about the pencils. It's just a normal HB pencil. Historically, pencils tend to be used as they are more practical. As polling days goes on, they can be sharpened repeatedly, whereas pens often run out, smudge, or break. The use of pencils is, however, not a legal requirement, so there you go.
That's why they had pens there as well.
Shaw's were founded by Henry Shaw in 1750 and claims to be one of the oldest businesses in the UK. It is a small number of companies specialising in election products and supplies packs to local authorities containing signage, booths, pencils and ballot papers.
They must make so much money.
Interestingly, it was acquired by the Electoral Reform Services, a company that runs ballots for companies and unions and also supplies electoral products to local authorities. The price was not disclosed.
Obviously. Oh, look, you got Graph Man, Jeremy Vine's on.
Well, we had some noise back. Not Mock the Week. Change channel, wrong button. He's talking about his graphs.
Here we go, graphs.
But yeah, they added it as it was a good
I'm
fit
pretty
for their
sure that
core
the
business.
London Eye isn't there.
No. Most of the packs would have been shipped by last Friday.
All right.
And today we're working on a nationwide building society AGM. So that company obviously supplied all the pencils. Fun story for
That's
you.
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Where are they getting their predictions from?
Don't know. I don't think they have predicted yet. So Leave will come in. What?
No.
I see. Okay, yeah, fine.
So basically, they've got two lines. They've got a giant CGI version of Downing Street.
That's not to scale.
No, it's not to scale, but it's incredibly high resolution. And
very high resolution. Just
what
Google
is-
Maps. Just Google Street View.
And what he's going to do is each time each one comes in, because there was 45 million registered to vote.
There's how many? Quite
Yeah.
a few, isn't it? There's what, 65 million people in the UK, something like that.
Yeah, it's a big turnout for elections
65.
as
So
they
that's
go.
20 million people who are either underage or didn't subscribe.
But then also, this is why when it all got a bit contentious about the elongation and extension of the whatchamacallit, the registration period,
Yeah.
and how the Leave campaign chose to see this as being a bit of a fraudulent event because they knew that the ones who weren't registered were youngsters, and the young voters have predominantly been in.
Yeah, it's true. But it's also because the website crashed.
Yeah, the website had an unhuman amount of traffic, didn't it? It was an
Yeah,
unbelievable
they didn't
amount.
foresee that was going to happen somehow. Some senior analyst in the government didn't
About
foresee
this,
that happening.
why does Glastonbury crash why does the ticketing system
Well,
crash
it's probably
every...
intentional.
Do you think it is intentional?
Yeah, of course it is.
What would be... Yeah, this is your game. This
It
is
my game.
This is what George actually works in day to day as a ticket in it's an online ticketing company.
Online software, yeah.
Online software for ticketing. What would be in their interest for their ticketing software to crash?
Well, they've only got a certain number of tickets anyway, haven't they?
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter, does it? What's the point in investing millions in letting millions of people get on the website when they've only got 20,000 tickets to sell? Doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't make a difference. They'd spend millions of pounds on better server hosting
Yeah, but
for
then
no reason.
but people would have a better customer experience.
Yeah, but who cares?
Mm.
First come, first serve.
Interesting.
It's true though, isn't it? Well, it's not millions, but it's tens of thousands of pounds they'd be spending on stuff for no reason, because they know that they're going to be inundated with people. So yeah, okay, 1 in 10 people don't get through because the website crashes, but They don't even need the number of people. They'll have set the server so that it will take the number of people that it needs to take to sell out. That's how they'd have done it.
That's interesting. That was a nice insight into how these things actually work.
Yeah.
We've got an MP talking on the telly now.
I don't know who she is.
I can't remember who she is.
She's live in Westminster, apparently.
She's a Conservative frontbench MP, but her name, Nicky Morgan, the Education Secretary.
Oh, right. Okay.
She's from the Remain camp.
I would love to know where she actually is right now, because she's clearly behind it or in front of a green screen. I'd love to know where she actually is. It says live in Westminster, but is she just in Barbados?
Unlikely to be Barbados, but however, she could be in a broom cupboard in Westminster.
She probably is in a broom cupboard in Westminster.
She's very well lit.
Very well.
Very soft light.
LED,
But she's got a very red chest. She's got wine
She's
rash.
been out in the sun.
Do you think she's been on the wines?
She's been out in the sun.
She's been on the grease.
Because MPs do fuck all this time of year, so she's out in the sun.
She's been sunning herself on the Remain campaign.
She has. Look, she's got sunburn.
Gibraltar have an 84% turnout. It's interesting that Gibraltar have to get to vote from elsewhere. What do you reckon would have happened if we flipped the referendum on its head, and everybody else in Europe got to vote to kick us out?
Ooh.
Nobody's talked about that side of the debate, have they?
That's a good question.
Do you wish to give us a prediction? Because France have said that if they were in our situation, it would be a landslide out.
It's really hard to say.
Because all of French media have said that France would be out.
Well, they probably all hate us, so... this is the thing that I'm most concerned about. I think either way this goes, everyone's going to think we're dicks.
I think, don't they already think that anyway?
Well, yeah, they do, but all the people that didn't now will.
Yeah. Well, realistically, does it matter? How many people care?
Well, no, but the whole point is about relations, isn't it? With other countries, and we're not very good at keeping good relations, are we?
No.
I don't know why. What specifically have we done that makes everyone hate us?
Is it because we're rich? Is it envious of it? In a strange...
Are we that better off than
I don't get this race between Sunderland and Newcastle.
I just hear the Benny Hill theme tune in my head. Running like that. There he is, look.
We've even got a horrible version.
Look, now she's running.
They're like passing it down the line. Is it just me who's really hoping she trips over and votes go everywhere, and she's got shards of a curver box lodged in her throat, all because she was too keen? You can be too keen, and that is too keen.
Look at him.
Keen, even he's saying keen.
Even Dimbleby thinks it's keen. Run.
It is a very... Do you know, this whole broadcast thing and the drama of the election, when did this come about?
I don't know.
Is it a modern thing?
Yeah, I think it is. I feel like we should be live here. This is gold.
I don't think we should be live.
This is gold. Gold.
We could...
EU referendum gold.
It's like a listen along at a slight delay.
Well, yeah, but no one's gonna be able to watch this and listen to it at the same time.
No, but the thing is with this, because no results come in until 12, they've basically got to fill the first 2 hours.
They've got to fill 2 hours.
So if we weren't
nothingness.
sick to death of the referendum already, you've now got 2 hours of filling. I don't really like Ian Duncan Smith.
No, I'm not keen. He just looks a bit...
Wasn't he the leader of the Conservative Party for a while?
I think so.
Farage has said it looks like Remain will edge it. From earlier on today, interestingly, I saw a tweet.
He sounds like he's given up.
What, Farage?
Yeah.
Would you know a good thing that might come from this? Well, I say good.
Well, he'll fuck off for good.
Well, if we do leave the EU, UKIP becomes null. It is independent. It's done.
That is a very good point.
It's ceased
That
to
is
exist.
literally their whole
campaign, their whole
premise.
Their whole premise. So their actual policies and everything are null, because nobody wants that. All the people are voting for when they go for it. Nobody looks at the UKIP manifesto and goes, ooh, hang on, they're really educational. That's good politics, isn't it?
They're green policies.
Yeah, that's not what they vote for. They vote for the premise of leaving the EU. So if we left the EU, UKIP are done.
UKIP are dead. So basically, half of them will go to BNP.
Yeah, do you think they'd get more extreme right wing? I don't think they would, because that's not what the BNP stand for. It's going off topic on referendum here, but after the horrible killing of what's her face? Joe Cox, the MP, and all that last week. That bloke there was. It hasn't been released, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows he was a Britain First guy.
Well, yeah, Britain First released a statement, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, they've denied that they were anything to do with it, but he was doing it, acting under Britain First. Yeah. And he was photographed with banners and all sorts. I think freedom of speech is about to get tipped on its head a little.
Do you reckon?
Where, at the moment, we currently have freedom of speech, but no consequences of what you say.
Well, you say that, but not entirely.
I think what the consequences are about to be ratcheted down a little bit. And what you could have got away with saying, i.e. the Britain First, the BNP, racist hate speech marches, are going to get be dealt with.
You can, if you're racist online or something, you can be arrested for it, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So there isn't total freedom of speech. You can't say whatever you like.
No, but I think it's going to be
classed as assault. Then it's.
I think they're going to.
Or threatening.
All attacks on MPs and things like that are going to be come down on incredibly loads
harder.
Especially
stuff for MPs, yeah.
All that kind of stuff is about to become very, very
Which is
touchy.
good, really, because we don't really want that to happen again.
God no, it's awful. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's been the main thing from this whole campaign. Really, it's been incredibly negative.
The whole thing, both sides, full of lies. Both sides of lies.
Yeah, but both sides came at it purely from the negative.
Yeah,
nobody went in and just talked about the positives of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual benefits of leaving the EU. What will that allow us to do internally?
Or the actual benefits of staying.
Yeah.
And not focused on why we shouldn't or everything like that, and just purely hammered in on the good things. And I think if you'd gone for that, sure, there are some things that it doesn't allow you, but they were too scared.
Well, you would have had the grown-up view, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they were
and
too
everybody
scared.
would have just been like, well, remain or leave, whatever, seems so much more... But then leave were never going to be, because they were the annoyed children that started the thing in the first place, whereas the...
Well, then
they just pissed off the siblings in Remain, and then Remain went childish too with their
shouldn't have
lies and arguments.
Do you think
just take the upper ground, higher ground?
Yeah, do you think if they'd had their time again, they would have taken the moral high ground and gone at it differently?
Maybe that would have been the better way to do it. And just whenever either of them were all like, oh, well, spend 250 million a year a week. It's like, yeah, okay, fine, but staying means that we can do this, and this is the benefit of it.
Yeah,
rather than
counteracted
saying,
everything.
No, we don't. No, we only sent 250 million based on these calculations that we spent £200,000 working out.
Yeah.
If
they'd have countered it with positive arguments all the time and seen where that had gone. I think...
maybe that's the trick they missed.
That would have been how I would have gone about it, but I mean... we're not the...
Well, we're not politicians, are we?
Do you think we'd have made better politicians than them? And also, I wouldn't want that job for all the tea in China. He's underpaid. If anything, I know everybody goes on about. I think it's well underpaid. You're accountable 24/7.
I was looking at the pay the other day. Unbelievable.
It's like 75k.
Yeah, mental. But that doesn't include.
You
benefits.
have to live in London.
Yeah, but they give you subsidies for living in London. You get extra money for living in London.
Well, you have to.
That's 75 million. Is 75 million. 75 grand is the baseline. That is the salary exclusive of expenses.
And you get shot down on a daily basis for something.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
get
fine. Yeah,
but
you're in that game, aren't you?
Personally, I wouldn't do it.
No, I wouldn't do it.
No, not a chance.
Oh, she's live in Brussels. That's a good idea.
Well, she's an EU woman, isn't she?
I hope so.
Katya Adler. She's the European editor.
She's British, though. She might have to do a bit of a run later.
Do you reckon they're just going to punt her out?
The pitchfork army come. Get out of our country.
This is going to be... Yeah, it's funny.
Plenty of Europeans who looked on at the referendum today in the UK with a big dose of envy.
Yeah.
They share a lot of those criticisms of the EU.
And do you know, interestingly, when they've said all these criticisms, the EU, the bloke, Claude Jonker or whatever his name is,
Loudly about reform.
keeps on saying basically, like, nah, this is it, mate. This is how it is. Because for all the EU's benefits and whatever, the end of the day, the whole organisation is essentially fatally flawed.
Yeah.
There are parts of it that are
Yeah, I
totally
suppose there are.
ridiculous.
But it's just like a government, isn't it? All governments are flawed.
But
You
there was
can't get flawless
actually a
government.
really interesting, very impartial documentary from Jeremy Paxman. When he talked to all sorts of things and pointed out quite how dumb some parts of the EU are. It literally so ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
they debate it in one place. They get a train, like 100
Yeah,
miles.
they have two offices, don't they?
and then they vote somewhere else.
Mm.
And
They
you're
have,
like,
they have an office in Brussels and an office in
yeah, and
Germany.
and
or
they
something.
refuse to change.
Frankfurt and Dusseldorf and
And they refuse to change it. And that's just ridiculous. That's just hemorrhaging money.
the only thing is, we don't know the full story
About what?
about all of it.
What do you mean?
Well, I've seen a lot about, EU do this. So, okay. But you've just told me that they do that. You haven't explained why they do it. Like that, Frankfurt, Dusseldorf, wherever it is, the two different places. I saw that mentioned. And the people were like, oh, isn't it ridiculous that they move between two offices, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, it is ridiculous, and I think it's a bit stupid, but I'm sure there's an explanation for it. And if there isn't, then fine, but that's not the argument that you've presented. The argument you've presented is, look at this stupid thing they're doing, isn't it stupid? It's like, well, no, I don't think it is stupid, because you haven't explained to me why it's stupid. You've just said it is.
There's loads of things like the rules on how straight a banana has to be and all those things. The ones that are really well known as just being stupid. And when you ask somebody about it, they basically, it comes down to they just don't know.
Is it that there's just a higher force, someone higher than the EU just telling them what to do?
I want to know if somebody... I'm trying to Google at the same time to see if anybody is giving if anybody's done some sort of little poll anywhere that we can kind of tie up with.
For prediction?
Yeah. I don't... They're not messing around. They're doing the counting in Sunderland is like ridiculously quick.
Yeah, they're mental, aren't they? They're like flicking through them.
On the... Ooh, here we go.
What have you got? What
YouGov poll.
Oh, YouGov. Yeah, that's quite accurate.
That's the one.
Where are we? Where are we at?
Was released at 10 p.m.
Okay.
It gives Remain a 4-point lead.
Remain has a 4-point lead.
52-48.
Oh.
So
That's
however
tight, innit?
however you look at this, it's basically 50-50. So at 20 past 10, it's just too close to call.
Wow. Watching this vote counting is hilarious.
And interestingly, well, the one thing I know what we'll finish on. What happens with the post-referendum? Obviously, because whoever's backed whichever side, their career is in tatters now.
Yeah, I thought that. Will David Cameron actually... They've said he won't, but will he? What is going to happen tomorrow? Surely nothing will happen tomorrow. Regardless of the situation, nothing's going to happen. Even if we vote to leave, surely we're going to have like a year grace period to actually get our shit in order before we leave.
Yeah, the
We're not
actual
gonna get kicked
leaving,
out
we don't just
tomorrow.
get punted out. No, it takes ages. And also, our referendum says we want to leave or whatever, but that doesn't actually mean that we've left.
No,
it has
we
to be
have to
actioned.
actually leave.
Yeah, we actually have to go and tell Europe to go and do it.
Yeah, actually.
So that doesn't
do
happen
the
yet.
paperwork.
But however,
So
there will
they're
be a
gonna have to-
reaction in
they're
the
gonna have to
markets.
be a new department in the government to manage the move.
There'll be a reaction in the markets, and then there'll be a reaction in. Say, for example, there is a we leave. Most people are predicting that all the companies in London, all the big banks and everything,
They're going to
will move to Dublin.
piss off, aren't they, to a different country?
They'll go to Dublin
Dublin's becoming huge for big companies
because
as well.
they're in the EU, so therefore all that, and they still speak
Facebook's there.
English.
Facebook's there.
The reason
Google's
why they do it is because they still speak English, and they're Euro, and
Dublin's a good
it's under
city.
the euro. So that's potentially what will happen. But otherwise, I think it's the
Or
making
Edinburgh.
or breaking of Boris Johnson is what we're about to see unfold.
Hopefully
Because
breaking.
they've laid the cards on the table. And it's the making or breaking of was David Cameron. Does he last until the end of this tenure? To be honest, it's almost deciding who takes the next thing. It's interesting to see that George Osborne repeatedly got shot down massively during this campaign as Chancellor for being negative.
Yeah.
I don't think he did his hopes as taking the hot seat next time round a lot of good during this.
Maybe he didn't really want to.
Oh, no. He wants it more than anything. He's been
Yeah.
lining himself up for it forever.
Does he not want... Does he want to move up within
It's
the
the
party,
logical.
though?
It's the logical step. The Chancellor becomes the Prime Minister.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
the roles go.
I
But
don't like him.
he doesn't tick my boxes at all. But it's Oh, this might be interesting. He's talking about polls.
Professor John Curtis, University of Strathclyde.
And on the basis of that, YouGov are saying that Remain have got 52% of the vote and Leave have got 48% of the vote. So
That's what we just looked at.
Bit of public intelligence we've got about the outcome of this referendum. I'm sorry about there isn't an exit poll, but as David has already explained, the methodology of that, which of course got it right, and unfortunately YouGov's poll, by the way, didn't get it right last year. The methodology
Yeah, that's something to bear in mind.
To compare the results this time with the results last time, and of course there is no last time. So
But it's different. The whole situation's
Yeah.
different, so you just don't know.
And on the strength partly of this and partly of what
I think a good way of polling it surely would have been to just stand somebody at.
I was going to say, why don't they just ask everyone?
Why
at the
don't they
polling
just
station
stand
if everyone
somebody at a
leaves?
polling station for 1 hour chunks at three
Yeah.
times during the day?
You just get a rough idea,
at
and
7
lots of
till
people
8,
wouldn't
when
tell
it
you, but
opens, when it closes, and then whatever, and then get
you
a
just
rough
work out
count.
the average. Yeah.
Yeah. You only need 382 people because there's only 382 booths. Jobs are good. Now Kamal Ahmed is telling us all about the pound and dollar.
I think we should hit it there.
Yes, we should hear there. And we'll everybody will know tomorrow in the morning.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
If you want to stay till 6 o'clock this morning and watch it, then fine.
Should I do an all-nighter? Should I do an all-nighter?
Maybe you'll hear from us again tonight. Maybe.
Should I do an all-nighter?
Dunno.
I've got a quiet week, you see. I went on my holidays last week, and now I'm on like strict rest to try and get everything back aligned again. But yeah, there we go.
All right, guys.
That was a longest midweek bonus episode of Starter for 10 ever. It'll be up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to watch along, go back on Rewind on BBC.
Yep.
Join the party. Use it as an analysis. It might get punted off for copyright infringement. And if it does, screw the man.
We'll upload it back to Facebook or something.
We'll just repeatedly upload it in places until it doesn't get punted off. Until next time, we'll be back on Monday.
We'll be back on Monday as always.
With a banger.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a good one. It's interesting. It wasn't our usual. It wasn't where the usual. It wasn't where the usual pod
It was
goes.
slightly different.
He covered. Let's give you a tease. What did we cover? We started at a girl getting a Barney head stuck on her head, and then we ended up talking about Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
So there you go. That was.
Cheers, guys.
Starter for 10. Brexit Remain.
Brexit Remain.
Which way will the axe fall?
We'll know tomorrow.
Catch you again.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.